Hey guys,
Hey.
back again with another episode.
Yes.
How are you, Teresa?
I knew you were gonna do that. How am I? I'm good. I had a good day. Went to
Good.
work. I had a much needed nap. I feel
Nice.
like I feel like I haven't really slept since like Friday.
What? Why?
Because Friday I worked an afternoon shift and then
Okay.
Saturday I worked a morning shift. So I got
Okay.
home, like I finished at 11:30 and then I started work the next morning at 7:30.
Damn. Okay.
And then in the evening I went out.
Okay.
I went to Rib Fest and I was just like chilling. I didn't get home until like 12. And then I
Mhm.
had work in the morning. And then yesterday I stood up on my feet for like 3 hours, like cooking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
I made some jollof.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
And then I had work this morning.
Damn.
So I haven't really slept for real, for real.
Yeah, that sounds
So
like a
after
hectic
work today, I
time.
was like, I was supposed to go to the gym, but I was like, honestly,
Yeah.
I need to
Sometimes you need to
sleep.
take a break, take a
I've been
rest, let
taking a
your
lot of
body
breaks
rest.
from the gym still because like I had a ponytail,
Oh
so
my
I couldn't
God,
go
not
to
the
the gym
hair. Yes, you can.
with a ponytail
People go to the gym with ponytails all the time.
with natural hair.
I
And
think.
it still looks, no, nobody does that. And then after that, I had a wig. So then I couldn't go
Oh,
to the gym. But now I have braids. So I went back to
okay.
the gym, but then I
Nice.
didn't go. I went back. So I started back like a couple days ago, and I've been twice so far. I was supposed to go today, but I was like, no, I'm honestly tired. But
Hmm.
I'm off tomorrow, so I'm going to go to the gym.
Okay, that's good.
But yeah, like overall, I feel good. I think I have a lot of work to do this week.
Hmm.
I have a busy week, and I need to stay on track.
Yeah, stay
So
productive. I
yeah.
feel that.
What about
Hmm.
you?
Yeah. What did I do this weekend?
What did you do this weekend? You never know because you don't post.
I can't remember.
Did you go out?
No. Oh, I went to see Sinners.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
with my mom. I went to see Sinners. That's about it. And I honestly, the weekend is like my rest time
You don't
because
want to be outside, eh?
I feel like during the week I'm like
Go, go,
back to
go.
back, and so the weekend I'm like, oh, like I just need to rest. But I don't know how
Honestly,
that's gonna work when it's summertime and I need to like be outside. So
but like you said, we can do day parties. Because if you do a
yeah,
day party, you can be home by like 8 p.m.
I know, but like when you have like 2 days, you just want to like rest. You know what I mean? Like if you are nonstop Monday to Friday, like you want a day, like you're looking forward to the weekend to rest.
I guess that's adulthood.
Yeah.
I guess that's why our parents wasn't really going out like that.
Yeah.
Because
No, facts. And imagine having kids on top of that. I would
I
lose my shit.
honestly,
I don't know how mothers do it,
uh,
honestly. Like,
I
good
don't
for them,
know.
man.
I understand why they cuss us sometimes because, like,
No,
can
facts.
you imagine?
Yeah. Like
Your
yesterday, I literally like had one of those, what do they call it? Like,
epiphany,
no, what do they call it on TikTok where you're like just in bed? Like,
a lazy day
no, they call it something.
when you're just in bed.
Yeah, you're rotting.
Oh, you're bed rotting.
Hmm. Like yesterday was like a bed rot day. But in my mind, I was like, bro,
What am I doing?
if I had kids, I could not do this.
Yeah, they would have to be a lot older for you to do
For
that.
me to do that. Yeah. Like if I had kids, I could not take a
I
day to
mean, if you
myself and
have
just rest like that.
if you had a supportive partner that knew that you needed that day, I guess you could.
I know, but like still you would have to do at least something, I feel.
I mean, I feel like your husband can give you a day.
Yeah, I
Am
don't
I
know.
Delulu?
I don't know.
If he's a good man, like, and
Yeah. I mean, he could give you a day, but knowing that your children, like your
you
children
would
know
probably
that
want to
you're
get up.
home,
Yeah,
I feel like they'll
they would come
naturally
bother
come to
you.
you, you know?
It's true.
So, bro, that's why in my mind I'm like, I had to like the only like chore I really did yesterday was like get up and walk my dog.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, bro, like I can't imagine having kids, like, because it would be too much, like, you know, I'd
Having,
be so stressed.
yeah, like even I think I don't know if it's like I saw a TikTok or whatever, but or a tweet, but it's like, you know, having kids is like you're having a bad day or you're depressed and like someone's in your face telling you they're hungry.
No
Like,
facts. Yeah, I saw a TikTok. Yeah, and it was like, oh, what's it called? Dairy Queen closes at 10 or something like that.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I
There's
was
a
like,
sound like
what?
that. Dairy Queen closes at 10, yeah.
Yeah. And I
But
was like, I'm screaming because that would be the last straw for me.
literally. But I
Yeah.
think like I don't know. I think when they're small they bring you joy.
Yeah. But I could imagine they're a lot. It's a lot of work.
Well, that's why you need to support it. Not the deep breath.
Yeah, honestly.
So you feel like you're not ready for kids?
No, I feel like I'm ready. I feel like my body's ready, but like
Mentally?
mentally, I don't know. I feel like it's
Spiritually?
not, yeah, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, I don't
Psychologically?
psychologically, I don't know if I'm ready, but I feel like it's just something that like you can't really prepare for. It's kind of like you
I don't
become
feel like
ready.
people never really feel ready. But the
Yeah.
thing is, I don't know, as much as we're in that stage where it's like, oh, okay, you're meeting somebody, you're getting married, you're having kids, whatever.
Mhm.
Today I was talking to my mom and she was like, oh yeah, you know, I know you're gonna get married next year. And I was like, what? I was like, excuse me? Like, did I tell you that I want
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to be married next year.
Yeah.
Like, married is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
obviously I want those things, but like married, like
Yeah. Yeah. No.
I don't know about that.
Not
She's
next year.
next
Maybe.
year is crazy. She's like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, I'm like maybe engaged, but even
Mhm.
that, I mean, whatever God wants for me, but even
Yeah.
that, it's like,
It
I
feels
mean,
quick.
I would say yes, but like,
Yeah.
it's not something that I'm
Yeah.
pressed about that it has to be next year.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
That's fair.
And she's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, like, and I'm like, so what? And
Yeah.
she's like, oh,
Like, where did this come from?
yeah. She's like, oh, when you get engaged, you don't need to stay engaged for long. Like, you need to start planning your wedding now so that by the time, like, you know, I'm just like, this is a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
Where is this coming from?
this is, well, I know where it's coming from because she wants me to get married, but like,
Oh, fair.
I
Yeah.
don't, like, I do want to get married, but next year's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I need to be
In
like,
your time, your own time.
yeah,
Mhm.
I will need to like buy a house and stuff by God's grace.
Yeah.
I can't just get married.
Yeah.
And I don't know if my bank account can, I don't know about that stuff
I'm
right
sure your
now.
parents will help you, like support you in that.
Yeah, but yeah, down payments and like closing costs, like you need a lot of money.
No, facts, you do.
I feel like you need like 100K, no?
I feel like more than that.
No, I don't think you need more than 100K.
Yes, I feel
100K
like you do.
for down payment and closing costs?
Well, it depends. Like if you're doing it with someone,
Yeah.
well then yeah.
No, I'm saying in total. You think you need more than 100K?
Yes. It depends on if you're trying to buy a condo, 100K will do.
No, I'm saying of my money, like down payment and closing costs.
Oh, like each. So it's 200K altogether.
Deja, you don't need to. How expensive of a house do you want to
Wait,
buy?
what kind of house are you trying to buy?
Like
buy
a
is the
regular
question.
4-bedroom house.
You definitely need more than
200.
100K.
You don't need 200,000. We need.
I think you need like at least 150 to buy like 2 garage, 4-bedroom
we need
house.
like a what is it? A real estate person to come on
If you
here.
need like because that's like what, $1 million.
I don't think it's 100K. Well, the thing is, my idea of how much a down payment stuff is from like 2018. Remember when I used to work at that office?
Yeah.
So obviously I know that it's way more expensive.
Yeah.
But I know somebody who bought a townhouse like 2 years ago, or was it last year? And I
Mhm.
think with everything, with the down payment and closing costs, it was like 60 or 70K.
Really, was it pre-construction?
Yes, it was pre-construction.
Yeah, I feel like that makes it like a little bit cheaper. But
Really?
I feel like if it's like a house that like someone has already lived in,
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot more expensive. But
200.
I mean,
How
I'm
the-
not a real
who
estate
can-
agent, so
how-
I don't know. A lot of people are getting money from their parents. That's how
Well,
they're affording. At least people like our age, that's how they're affording, unless they like work a lot. But
even if you work a lot, like that's crazy. Like, and what boggles my mind is like, after you save for your down payment, you still have to pay your mortgage.
yeah, facts.
Can you imagine?
No, it's crazy.
Like you still have to pay your mortgage, and like some
Yeah.
people's mortgage is like 5-6 racks,
Yeah.
and utilities, groceries.
And
You
then
have to pay for
imagine
your
you have
kids.
kids on top of that.
So
That's crazy to me.
as
like,
a somebody who works with children, right?
Yeah.
Would you send your kids to private school or public school?
I don't know, because I've seen both sides. And the thing with private school is like they don't have to adhere to like the laws of like the Ontario government when it comes to education. You know what I mean?
Like the
Whereas
curriculum?
like the curriculum, but also like for example, if something happens between like two kids and like there's a fight or something, they don't have to like chart that anywhere. You know,
Mm.
whereas public system, like they have to do that. So there's
Mhm.
always like a written
Like a paper trail?
paper trail. Yeah. So I don't know. I had a few families that transitioned from private to public because of that reason. And like at the same time too,
From private to public?
from private to public. Yeah.
Okay.
Because private school, like you're paying out of pocket for it as well. So honestly, most times, like a lot of them do just want the money. And I work with a lot of special needs kids, so they need additional support,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I would go into like these like support meetings for like the student and then the teacher or the school principal or whatever, and we would talk about how to support this kid in school. And the differences that I see between private and public is like night and day. In private, like in a private setting, they'll be like, oh yeah, for sure, like we'll support this, such good ideas, blah blah blah. There's no paper trail to like see that they're actually implementing those strategies or they're actually doing something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the public setting, they're like, okay, this is what the teacher has to do. There's like a plan in place.
Okay.
And then there's follow up with the plan too. So like you know what they're doing and you'll see like, okay, it's making progress or it's not, you know?
That's interesting. You would think it would be the other way
You
around.
think it would be the other way around because they're paying out of pocket for like these services, but they don't have to like there's no
The
one that's like
accountability.
monitoring them, you know?
Yeah.
So like they don't have to do anything they don't want to do. The rules that they're following are the rules that they make up themselves, you know? So yeah. And this is speaking from like
Professional
preschool
standpoint. Okay.
like settings and like preschool to like grade 3 setting. It's kind of like they just do what they want, you know? And I feel like a lot of private schools too, like those teachers, they don't have to go to teachers college.
Really?
Because my friend worked in a private school in Brampton and she didn't go to teachers college. And a lot of the other teachers didn't go to teachers college either.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. So I don't know. Some private schools are good though. So I don't want to say like that's just has been my experience. So I think I would put
In public
in
school?
public.
That's interesting still.
Yeah.
Because I like lately I've been leaning towards private school.
Mm-hmm.
But that's interesting. But then at the same time, I feel like a lot of like I have two friends that are teachers, and I feel like and they teach in the public sector, and I feel like anybody's kids would be lucky to have them as teachers. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The thing is like there's good teachers, there's bad teachers in any.
That's scary though that there's bad teachers.
Yeah, there is.
That's kind of scary.
Honestly, I had this one experience. Not gonna
When you
lie.
were a student, or
No, like for one of the kids that I like support.
mm-hmm.
And this was a part of the reason why the mom decided to like move them out of the school.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a Black family, of course, that I support. And then the teacher, it's a Black teacher too.
I think you told me something like
Yeah.
this.
So we were so excited because we're like, because this is when they were initially transitioning from private to public, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then mom was like weary about it, but I'm like, you know what? Like at least there'll be like a paper trail. Like they're gonna be held accountable by like the school board, you know? So like it should be fine. And we were so excited when we saw the teacher, like, oh my God, she's Black, like, yay, you know? And then she was excited too. But just the way that she, like the type of language that she would use with him, me and the mom were kind of like, what are you talking about? Because the child has autism and he has like differences with like his social communication skills.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's hard for him to like communicate when he doesn't want something.
Okay.
So it comes across as like behaviors like him hitting or like showing you that he doesn't want, because he can't say like, no, I don't like this, you know? So he'll show it through like his behaviors. And then the teacher one day, I think he might have hit the teacher or something, because the teacher was like in his face or something like that. And then the teacher said to the mom, sent the mom an email saying how, this child was very aggressive. The other students in class are scared of him.
Not they're scared of him.
Yeah, and I'm like, why are you using, you as a Black teacher, a Black woman at that, why are you using that type of language with him? Like, do you not know this is a Black boy? Like, why, you know what I mean? And I told the mom that. Mom was like, yeah, like, I was so offended by like what she was
And
saying
also,
by
you
him.
know that he has autism.
You know that he has autism, and you know it's not an intentional thing. He's not doing it because he hates you. He's not doing it because he doesn't like you. He might not like you, but like he's not doing it like there's no like malice behind it, you know? But like that was kind of her, like the language that she was using. It felt like she had like some like preconceived notion about like maybe what autism is, or she just felt like he was doing it to like get at her, like show that he doesn't like her, but that's not what he was doing at all. And we had conversations with this teacher so many times, like this is how he communicates and blah 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 blah. There's like a plan in place for any time that like his behavior starts to go a little bit different. And she just, I don't know, but that's just like an example of like some things that are happening in the school system.
But you know, the thing about it is like at the end of the day, even though if we're whatever career path we're on, we've all been trained, we've gone to school, whatever. But at the end of the day, we're all just people.
Yeah.
And we're making up the institution. And like, you know, I've had this job for like a few years, but you know how I'm very like pro-Black and like, you know, the government, da, da, da. I was talking to somebody and they're like, well, you're a part of the system, you work for the government. And I was like, oh. It just dawned on me, like it literally just clicked in my head that I work for the government. I was like, oh, I work for the government. That's crazy stuff.
I mean, yeah, but like you can be a part of like the change, you know.
Girl, please.
I don't know.
Which I feel like you can make. Remember we were having that conversation, I don't know if you remember, when we went to Brazil and we went to that like lecture.
Yeah.
And the man that owns it was saying that he feels discouraged because he's been doing this type of activist work for like so many years, and he still sees that there's problems and he feels discouraged. And then everybody was going around the room saying they feel like although there has been progress, like there actually hasn't been progress. And then I was like, honestly, when you think of things, when it comes to change and activism and social justice, when you think of things on like a larger scale and like when you think of like how can I change the system, you'll be discouraged because you can't change the system
like all by yourself.
But you can change the people that you interact with.
If
that makes sense. Like if I, like for you, if you work with Black families and you know, there's certain cultural things that you might understand that somebody who's not Black will not understand. Like the fact that you recognized that even though that lady was Black, the fact that you recognized that using the word aggressive towards a Black boy who also has autism is actually crazy.
Wild, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's just crazy. But if you weren't Black, you probably wouldn't be able to recognize that.
I probably wouldn't, yeah. Yeah.
Yo, do you remember? I remember when I used to have this job like 3 or 4 years ago, and I had a coworker who was non-Black, and she was just like always starting with me. And then we had like we didn't even argue. We just had like a little like throwing shade thing like one day. And then the next day when I went to work, it was like me, her, the manager, and the supervisor. And like,
oh, I think I remember this. Yeah.
And we were doing like a shift change. So she went to them and told them that like whatever happened.
Yeah.
And then we were I thought it was a shift change.
Yeah.
And then the manager was like, oh, you know, we need to like be, you know, when they speak generally and they're saying things without saying things. And I'm like, what are you trying to say?
Yeah, like get to the point.
Yeah. And then
like say with your chest.
And then she was just talking. And then I'm just like, honestly, like this is, first of all, I feel attacked.
Yeah.
Because everybody in this room knew that this conversation was going to take place except me.
Yeah. Oh, so it's just you three?
It was us four. It was me,
Oh.
the girl, the supervisor, and the manager.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So everybody here knew this conversation was going to take place except for me. What you guys should have did was you should have pulled me aside.
And gotten your perspective.
And then you could have mediated. Don't blindside me and attack me.
She didn't even get your point of view or what happened. They're just going on with whatever she said.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
And then I was like, honestly, I feel like I can't. I told them, I was like, I feel like I can't react in the way I want to react because I'm a Black woman. I said it, period, point blank. And she's like, oh, you know, Teresa, like, you're just passionate. And I'm like, what? First of all, I'm not passionate about this job. Please. Like, second of all, you're using coded language.
Yeah.
And I literally, and then the next day she wanted to debrief with me. And I'm like, I don't feel comfortable speaking with you. I'm going to shoot you an email.
Yeah.
I was like, this is no longer, like, period. Don't play with me. Yeah. I was like, there
needs to be a paper trail.
Literally, like, I was getting so mad. Like, I literally had to close my eyes and count to 10. Those was in my temper days. Yeah. I've calmed down a lot. But, like, I literally had to close my eyes and count to 10. Yeah. Say the Lord is my shepherd in my head. Because I was like, listen.
Yeah. No,
and then, so anyways, the next day she came to me and she was like, you know, Teresa, like, I want to brief. I'm like, this is not a safe space. Yeah. I'm gonna shoot you an email.
Yeah.
So I sent her this email about like how, like, you know, as a Black woman, this and this is what we go through in the workplace, and we're having a different experience than you, even though we're both women. And then I sent her a link to how passionate it could be a coded word for aggressive to Black women. Yeah. And I was like, please find this art. No. What is she gonna say? She's like, when she was on her, I know she read that email like 10 times and scratched her head. Like, what do I say?
What do I say?
Because even on her way out, she's like, oh, I saw your email. I'm gonna respond. The lady, it's been like 4 years. She never responded. So yeah. I know she's not gonna go call another Black woman passionate.
She will not. She learned her lesson that day. Yeah.
You know, learn today. Don't ever try that. All four of you guys know what's gonna happen and are privy to what this conversation, and nobody thought to tell me like, hey, Teresa, by the way. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, that's wild.
I will send you a strongly worded email so fast. Kill me. And I'm not scared of you. Yeah. Yes, it's because I'm Black. Yeah. It's because I'm a Black woman that you're calling me passionate. You knew you couldn't say aggressive. Yeah. So you want to say passionate. I'm not passionate. I don't like foolishness. Yeah. Don't play with me.
Screaming. Anyway. I'm screaming. Yeah.
No, you can't play with these people in the workplace.
No, it's so true.
You have to they know who to try things with and not try things with. Yeah. You have to have a demeanor in the workplace, like, don't play with me, but then also like be nice to everybody and everything like that. No, for sure. It's hard because I feel like, you know, even in academia too, like, you have to filter yourself so much. But then do you think that by us filtering ourselves and, like, I don't know, watering down our reactions and stuff, that we're kind of perpetuating the issue, like playing into respectability politics and things?
Probably, yeah. Because I feel like they don't truly know how we feel, you know? And maybe us coming, like, responding in like a very, I don't know what the word is, like, very, like, what they would deem respectful way. Yeah. You know? Like, our anger doesn't come across, you know?
But do you think they care about our feelings?
I feel like they care about whether they get in trouble from HR if they hurt our feelings. I don't think they truly care about our feelings, but I feel like they care whether we'll go to HR because of something that they said that might have been like a microaggression or like.
Okay, so I was having this conversation the other day, and do you think that professionalism is rooted in whiteness? Like,
yeah, I think so.
So I was having this conversation, and the person was saying, like,
it's not.
It's not.
What was their reason? Like, what did they say? How is it not?
Because they're saying, like, there's just a way, like, okay, so this is the conversation. So we were talking about, like, the whole Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion thing, right? And then the person was saying that, like, Megan Thee Stallion is not a good role model for Black girls and Black women, and how she was twerking on stage with Kamala Harris or whatever, right?
Okay.
And then they're like, oh, that's not a good look because, like, it's a presidential campaign or whatever. And I'm like, okay, let's go back. Like, why is twerking considered not professional?
Yeah.
Right?
Not a good look. Yeah.
I'm not saying go to work and twerk, but, like, at the same time, there's a reason why things that are associated with Black culture are deemed
Mm-hmm.
unprofessional,
Mm-hmm.
and why things that are associated with whiteness
Mm-hmm.
are deemed professional.
Professional. Yeah.
Like, it's not a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, when we talk about professionalism, like, can you be fully in your Blackness and be considered professional?
Um, Generally, no, but I feel like when I go to work, that I just come how I come. Like,
But you
I don't
don't
think I show up professionally at all.
you show up within your full Blackness. I feel
Yeah.
like I do that in my academic settings, especially when I'm interacting with my students. But it's like a thing where I'm actively doing, like, I'm being myself, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
consciously being
Mm-hmm.
myself,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Because I feel
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah, I get that.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like honestly, man, anti-Blackness is a disease still.
It is a
It's
disease.
it's it's hard still. I show up consciously as myself, but I feel like we're the only ones that have to kind of have these conversations with ourselves. And I went to Rip Fest the other day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was this like big group of young Black boys. They're probably like, I don't know, 15, 16.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like a lot of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, they weren't doing anything bad. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
all kids are rambunctious or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But I know what people are thinking about
Oh, for
them.
sure. Yeah.
Even probably Black people too. I
Yeah,
know
for
they're
sure.
thinking that, oh, these boys are up to no good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is why I don't want my kids to be outside like that, because,
Yeah.
and that's why I identify so much with the mom from what is it, Forever?
Forever.
Because
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know, even as when I was young, like, my dad used to have those conversations with me. Like, when you go to the mall with your friends, like, be careful.
Mm-hmm.
People will think that you guys are stealing because you guys are Black. Like, if
Yeah.
all your friends are going in the store, like, you could stand outside too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't. He's just letting me know that this is what people will think of you. So it's just, and I thought literally until I was like 20,
Mm-hmm.
21, I thought this was a conversation that all parents have with their kids.
Oh, with
Like,
their kids.
don't go
Yeah.
in the store, like, people think you're stealing. But
Yeah.
I was talking to this like brown girl, and she was like, oh, really? Like, my parents never told me that. And I was like, oh, it's like, it's just a Black people thing. It's not
Mm-hmm.
even like a minority thing or whatever. It's like
Yeah.
just a Black people thing. Our
Mm-hmm.
parents have to have these conversations with
Yeah,
us.
for sure.
You know what I mean? And it's just, it's sad.
It is really sad, honestly. But
It is what it is.
it is what it is. Yeah.
I don't know. What can we
Such is
do?
life.
Okay. And one more thing
Yeah.
before I move on. So, do you think that, I think a lot of Black people say that they want Black liberation,
Mm-hmm.
but it's actually like white acceptance that they want.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is, okay, if we're talking about like, I don't know, like any issue that affects Black people, like in terms of not getting a job because you're Black, or
Mm-hmm.
not getting opportunity because you're Black, or being, if we're talking about like interacting with institutions like the
Mm-hmm.
police, like those types of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or even professionalism. Is it
Mm-hmm.
that we want to be able to be in a professional setting and be our full selves?
Mm-hmm.
Or like, is it that we want to make our own, okay, you know how they talk about having a seat at the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
Should our goal be to have a seat at the table, or should it be to have our own table, and for that table to hold the same value as
I think have our own table.
But do you think that's what all Black people want?
Probably not. No.
Because even like Jay-Z, right? All
Mm-hmm.
this stuff that he talks about, like, if you listen to his personal politics, like, it's giving like classist.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving like, I made it. So
Really?
yeah, it's
I don't
giving,
really listen to his stuff. I listen to like his old music, not like his
yeah,
new
it's giving like,
stuff.
I made it. Stop being ghetto. You could make it too. Like,
Oh, really?
that's how I interpret it. How I interpret it.
Yeah.
It's giving like, I
But I feel like that's like a man thing. Maybe is that fair to say? Like I feel like a lot of Black men are like that. Like I don't know
They
if Black women
are.
are like that. Like I feel like we
It's
are
true.
good doing our own thing, you know?
But I think, okay, you know
We
what
don't
I
look
think
to
the
be like
difference is?
accepted
Yeah, but
like
I think
that.
for men, like we've talked about before, their self-worth and their how they view themselves and
Hmm.
how other people view them is rooted in like for their finances.
No, for sure.
So for them, it's like, yeah, like let's get this money. Like,
Yeah.
what are you crying
Literally.
about? Like,
Yeah.
you have to put the work in. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And honestly, that's better than having a lazy man. So shit.
I know. Facts. That's true.
So I think that's their mindset. Whereas I think Black women have more space to obviously still make money, but like be
Hmm.
more community oriented or
Hmm. Like reflective.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're just focused on the bag.
Yeah. I think Black women are more conscious that like the bag is not gonna fix everything, you know?
Yes, I think Black men think the bag is
Gonna
gonna
fix
think
all their
yeah.
problems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah.
And it's not.
And it's not.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Okay. Okay, so Sinners.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I went to go see Sinners with my mother on Saturday.
Mhm.
So this was my mom's third time watching the movie, and it was my first. I've been meaning to watch it, but a lot of people said it's a horror film, and I'm a scared girl. So, and I don't like movies that are horror. So
Hmm.
I've been like procrastinating seeing it. I also just haven't had time. So that's another reason. But everyone that has watched Sinners was like, it's 10 out of 10. So good. Whatever. So yeah, I went to go see it. I think I was closing my eyes for a majority of the
I was
movie.
too. I got the gist.
I got yeah, but that I want to go see it again because I feel like I missed out on so many like after going through so many TikToks and like trying to like unpack what the
No,
meaning
Deja
was.
texted me the movie like, Teresa, what the hell is this demonic movie?
No, because that's the thing. Like, number one, for horror, I don't like things popping out at me.
Yeah.
But then number two, I don't like demonic shit.
Spiritual
Like that
things. Yeah.
actually scares me. Like I will have nightmares. I will
I
like
was scared too.
I would be terrified. So
Mhm.
like the combination of both of those, I
It
was
was
like,
a
this
lot.
is actually
But
terrifying.
I can tell when jump scares are
Like the music
I'm like
starts to
this. Yeah.
play.
I'm like
Yeah,
literally.
I was like that the whole time.
Yeah, the
Anytime
person
the
who I
music
went with
came,
was
I was
like,
like,
"You missed the whole movie." I was like, "No, I got the." Because after
you
he
got
was
the
like,
gist. Yeah,
after he was like, "Oh, like what are the like? What did you think?" And I said all these things. He's like, "How did you get that? You weren't
yeah,
even. You didn't even." I'm like, "Listen, I was watching. I was
yeah,
listening. I'm
yeah,
smart. I don't need to see vampires doing things to
bro.
understand the movie."
Yeah,
But
and like the
anyway,
thing is, like I didn't watch anything about Sinners before I went to go see it, so like I couldn't have like I didn't know anything about what was I was about to see, and I would never have guessed that it would have been about like vampires and stuff. Like I had no clue.
I think you know what? I think it was. I think them using the vampire thing was a really good way to show those themes without it being traumatic.
Yeah.
Because when you think about movies that are about like let's say because the time that they're in like it was definitely after the enslavement
Mm-hmm.
of Black people, but the aftermath,
Mm-hmm. It was like Jim Crow. Yeah.
yes, was still there,
Mm-hmm.
which is still violent and
Yeah.
still institutionalizing
Mm-hmm.
and using Black bodies or whatever, right? So it's like that's traumatic.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they made it like about vampires, yes,
Mm-hmm.
it was scary, but it wasn't traumatic.
Yeah.
It told their stories
Mm-hmm.
in a non-traumatic way. So I feel like that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts? Do you understand
So
better
I
now?
understand now. Yeah. But I
Okay.
still want to watch it again just because I feel like now I know like the parts that are gonna be scary. So like there's no like anticipation of oh my god, something's gonna pop out at me. I know when it's gonna happen. So like I want to watch it again.
So what do you feel like was your biggest takeaway?
There's like so many. So I feel like definitely cultural appropriation with the vampires.
Mm-hmm.
And then like another subtle one was like how specifically I can't remember names right now, but they know the husband's name is Bo and the wife's name? The Asian lady?
Oh, okay, yeah. I
I don't
forget her
remember her
name.
name. But Bo and then
His
whatever,
wife.
his wife, how like they were very much with the Black people when they could profit off of them.
So I won't say that about the husband.
About the husband, yeah. About the wife, for sure.
But do you see how, I don't know if when you were watching TikToks, you caught this about how they have the two stores, the black store and the white store.
Yeah.
And the husband was working in the black store and the wife
was working at the white store. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then even when she was like walking over, she was kind of like, what is happening? Because remember the people that, what's his name? Stack
and Smoke.
Yeah, Stack shot two people because they were stealing out of his truck.
Yeah.
And she kind of like noticed, she's like, oh my God, like
these people, like,
what the fuck? Like, you know? But yeah, I think that was another one where it was like, she was very much for supporting, I guess, the juke joint when it was beneficial for her.
It was making her profit. Money.
Yeah. But as soon it was like, people are going to die, she's like, let's get the fuck out of here.
But that is the difference. That is what an ally is. Her husband is an ally.
Yeah.
And she is just in proximity to Blackness when it's beneficial to her.
And people were saying like if the roles were reversed and Bo was the one inside and she was the one outside, that they likely wouldn't have all died because she was the reason why they all...
But the vampires got in. Isn't that what it always is? Like, and this is why all this people of color and I'm not buying it. Yeah. I'm not buying it. You guys don't care about us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so culture appropriation. You feel like they just wanted to like suck the life out of.
Yes. Yeah. Like, what's his name? The main vampire.
Reddick.
Yeah. How like he really wanted, what's his name? Preacher Boy. His Sammy, yeah. His music
Preacher Boy.
Preacher Boy. They really wanted his music and like his mind too.
That's the one that he wanted. That's so the one bad.
He wanted so bad, yeah. And like, you know the scene where like they're dancing inside the juke joint, and then really, you
that
see
was
the
amazing.
Past and the future, and you see like all these different cultures. I was like, whoa! But then they span out, and then it's the three vampires looking in, like, oh, like I want that. Like I was like, wow.
But that's how you see the you know which part got me too? I don't know if you remember. It's like a subtle part. There was a part where Sammy and I think must have been Stack and
Stack, yeah.
The old man that was like
drunk?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're in the car and they're driving, and then the old man starts telling a story about like about his friend.
Yeah, how he was hung or something.
Yes, how they lynched his friend, and then he went like he made a sound. He started humming, and then like Sammy started like playing the guitar to it. So it's like the pain like made a music, and like that's what Black people have done throughout history. It's like make art out of pain, and that's why. And it's like non-Black people look at our art, whether it's like acting, whether it's art, like actual like visual art or music or whatever, and they want that, and they like it, but they don't actually like us. And it's like the reason why we have this is because it's out of the pain that you guys have inflicted on us.
Yeah, no facts. Yeah.
It's crazy.
So
it's crazy. For me, what got to me, because there was this discourse about like, as a Christian person, like how should we feel?
I wanted to ask you. Okay. I feel like you're like heavy in the Bible. So I was like, what is your thoughts? Because like obviously like Christianity was like a heavy like theme or like in the movie.
Okay. So this is a larger conversation. We could talk forever about this. So this is something, even before this movie, this is something that I always think about, because as somebody who is Christian and then as somebody who is very pro-Black, it's hard to navigate that space sometimes, because even as a Christian, I think we have to acknowledge that Christianity is something that was brought to us by white people.
Yeah.
And it's something that was used as a tool for us to be complacent.
Yeah.
Right? But then at the same time, I know how I feel about my faith, right?
Yeah.
And when it comes to like African spirituality and those types of things and like juju, obi, or whatever, right? Obviously, we have been taught that those things are demonic and those things are evil, right? But, and even in Ghana, there's this tribe that some of them are Christian, but they have like their own spirituality, right? And they're a tribe that like other tribes don't really fuck with because they're like, oh, you guys do like evil stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But when I went to Ghana, I met somebody who was from that tribe and they're young. So obviously like we're relating on a level. I've never talked to anybody from that tribe that's like young. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like your age?
Yeah, like
Oh,
he was
okay.
around our age. So he was telling me about like what they believe. And I'm like, this doesn't sound demonic to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just more like they believe like in like the ancestors. Not that the
Okay.
ancestors are going to do things for them, but like that we have to be like connected with the ancestors
Okay.
kind
Yeah.
of thing, right? And I'm like, this doesn't sound demonic to me. And I feel like, do I think this is demonic because it's demonic, or do I think this is demonic because that's what I've been taught?
That's what you've been taught.
And then another thing too, you see how in the movie Annie, who was into the African spirituality,
Yeah.
you see how she gave that necklace to Smoke,
yeah.
and it actually protected him. He's the one that survived. On top of that, well, he died in the end, but he survived.
But he took it off, and then that's when he died.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then also she had a lot of insight. Like she knew if it wasn't for her, they all would have died way earlier.
Period. And that's another thing, Black women saving everyone.
Literally.
Yeah.
And remind us to come back to Annie. So she was the one that knew things and protected them, but she was the one that was into the African spirituality, right? So I'm like, did you guys tell us this was demonic because you knew how powerful it was and you knew that if we still had that, you guys wouldn't have been able to fuck with us?
Yeah, maybe.
Right? And then on top of that, you know the part when Reddick is like trying to kill Sammy or whatever, or they're like tussling?
Yes.
And then like
and he
Sammy,
says the Lord's Prayer?
yes.
Yes.
And it's like the guy starts saying it with him.
Honestly, that part really scared me. I'm not gonna lie. I was actually scared.
Yeah, I was saying Lord is my shepherd in my head. I was yo, do you know how much times I was praying in that movie? Like I rebuked this. But like what I got from that was, so the Bible says there's nothing without faith and works, right? So I could sit here and say like, I believe that I'm going to be a millionaire, right? Just sit here, I'm going to be a millionaire, I'm going to be a millionaire, but I'm not doing anything to
get to that goal.
To get to that, that is not what God is telling you to do. You have to believe, but you also have to do. You have to do, but you also have to believe.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel like a non-Christian person could read the Bible too. A non-Christian person could, there's a lot of atheist people that know a lot about the Bible, or people who used to be in the faith that are not, but they know about it, right?
Yeah.
But they don't believe it. So it's like, it doesn't mean anything. So I feel like the vampire and Sammy both saying it at the same time, it isn't necessarily, for me, people are like, oh, like, it mean they're trying to like mock Christianity, whatever. I don't think that's what it is. I think what it's getting at is like, yeah, you could know everything. You could, but if you don't believe in your heart, like it's not.
Yeah. No, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Because like Sammy believed it, you're saying.
Did he?
I feel like he did.
I feel like he did, but I feel like, and this is the thing too, this is why I always say like your relationship with God is personal. Once you start involving like what the church will say and like what people will say, that's when you're gonna get lost. So I feel like if his dad wasn't like telling him, oh, your stuff is so demonic, you wanting to sing is demonic, like maybe he would have been able to do his music and be a Christian. Yeah. But because his dad made him feel like you have to choose, he was like, well, I choose to be free. That's what he wanted. He wanted to be free.
Facts. Yeah.
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 That's what I got from it. So Annie, you feel like Black women save everybody.
Yes. I do.
And she wasn't.
She was an example of that in the movie, I feel.
So
too.
when you be honest.
Yeah.
So when Annie and Smoke first came on the screen, did you pick up that was his girl?
I even asked my mom, I was like, is that his mom or something? Like, is that his aunt? And she's like, that's his girlfriend. Like, stop talking to me. I was like, oh shit. So until they started doing the do, I was like, oh,
so
okay.
There's this discourse online, and people were saying that the only reason why people thought that it was his mom or his aunt or whatever was because she was dark skinned and because she was like bigger. And they're
as like the love interest. Yeah.
So they're like, oh, this is why you guys didn't think she was love interest.
Yeah.
And I get that. And I felt bad for thinking that too.
Yeah.
But then, and it's true, like, this is what we're taught to believe or whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because she was so, like, how do I explain? I think, you know how we've always talked about, like, protecting Black men.
Yeah.
That Black women are socialized to be mothers. I think all women
like
are
nurturing in that type of
nurturing.
way.
We're socialized to have characteristics that align with what a mother is.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like she was exhibiting that from off the rip.
It
So
gave mother, like it gave like motherly
gave-
instinct, like
it
you
gave
know,
like, I want to take care of you. I'm
that's
just
what it
so
was
worried
giving.
about you. Like,
yeah.
But then also, I think as Black women, we know that that's also something that we do if you love a man, whether he's your brother,
no, for sure.
and especially if he's your man, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I really had to unpack, like, why did I think that? But then I feel like people are being performative too. Like, I think some of the people that were cussing people online saying, "Oh, why did you guys think it was his mother?" Like, you guys probably thought that too.
Yeah.
Still.
No,
but
facts. I feel like what's his name? Ryan Coogler. What's his name?
Yeah,
is that his name? I feel like he did that intentionally
to make us think that it was his mom.
Yeah,
her mom.
not think like chose her specifically as the main love interest. You know.
But do you think if she was like smaller and like brown skin, that we would have thought that?
Like off the bat, that they were like
that it was his mom or whatever, his auntie.
Probably not.
So we have to do some unlearning too, because if us as dark skinned women are thinking that,
I don't think it was for me, I don't think it was the fact that she was dark skinned. It was probably more
how she was acting.
Yeah. And
the
I
way
was gonna say something, but I can't say it.
The way she was talking to, she kind of like is the only person that like suns him.
Yeah.
Like nobody talks
like puts
to
him in his place.
Yeah,
you know?
Nobody talks to him like that.
Because he's the one that's like irate.
He's always
and,
on
like,
smoke. That's how I told the difference between. I'm like, okay, smoke is always on smoke.
Yeah, literally.
Like he's always ready.
And Stack is just about his money.
Yeah, Stack
all the time.
No, Stack was. Remember when? Wait, which twin? You're right. Stack is about his bread, because when the people in the juke joint were playing with,
bro, that was the funniest
we're
shit
paying
ever.
with the wooden money because that's what they get. He was like,
I thought you were talking about something else. I thought you were talking about like when the three vampires came, they started singing "Beat by Million Me," and then you see Stack like dancing along, and I was like, "Yo, do not let them in."
No, I was talking about the part when you see that part when they came with the thing and they're like, "Oh, there's no white people allowed."
Yeah,
and then
like, what about her?
Points to the girl, they're like, "How'd she get in here?" Okay, let's talk about that part too, because she was like Black a little bit.
Yep. Let me relax. Yeah.
She was white passing.
Yeah, but she said like her grandfather was half Black. So,
girl, she had a little Black in her.
Yeah.
Whether we can identify her as Black, that's not my place or job.
Yeah.
So anyway, she wanted so bad. I think she wanted because being Black is lit, right?
Of course, yeah.
So she wanted that aspect of being Black, like the feeling accepted and feeling included. But she also wanted, I feel, to be white passing and to live her, like to get that privilege, right?
Yeah.
So this is why all this discourse of, oh, you're invited to the cookout, blah, blah, blah. Like, stop saying that. Like, you're not invited to the cookout because you can dance.
Yeah.
Because I'm not invited to your spaces because I went to university for 15 years. Yeah. I still have to work harder than like, you know what I mean? Like, don't do that.
No,
anyway.
Facts. Wait, I have a question though. What did you think about, so remember when Rennick, is that his name? Remick, Reddick,
whatever his name is.
Reddick.
I think it's Remick.
Remick? Yeah, the main vampire.
Yeah.
So when he was coming to the people in the juke joint, right? Like after a bunch of people came out, and then he was like, "Oh, don't you want to like be free? You know, like the Ku Klux Klan is gonna come tomorrow and shoot up the place. Like this is your opportunity to become free and to like, you know, be eternal and like live your life. Like, like what did you think about that?"
So I think
can I just say something quickly? Because at that moment I was like it is their opportunity, but I'm like, are they really going to be free?
And this goes back to what we were talking about earlier about okay, this is the thing. You know how we were talking about like professionalism and like, do we want to sit at the table or do we want our own table or whatever?
Yeah.
I feel like when it comes to like our liberation, we need people who are going to like write letters to like the mayor and the governor and
Yeah.
whoever
Yeah.
and the MPs, and we need people who are going to be in the streets saying like fuck you.
Yeah.
Both of them,
No, facts.
both
Yeah.
of them are cohesive to the
Yeah.
movement
Yeah.
or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But like I think because remember you said you saw the vampires as culture appropriation and stuff like that. So I think like either way they're dying.
Either way, they're dying.
Because
Yeah.
it's either you're stealing our culture and you're stealing our likeness, or you're actually killing us physically.
Yeah.
And that is what it is to be Black.
Yeah.
It's
Facts.
either you guys are trying to be us, you guys like our culture, but you don't like us. You guys see us as commodities. And this is why, like, when it comes to, so there's this thing like, theory structural functionalism, right? So follow me, stay with me. So when it comes to, let's think of like the Western world or like North America, whatever, right? So we think of the transatlantic slave trade, which is the commodification of Black bodies, right? So it's like buying and selling Black people, but you're not seeing them as people. You're seeing them as, chattel or property or whatever, right?
Something to make money off of.
Exactly. So after the enslavement of Black people, now we're going into Jim Crow, right? Which is still that, but it's being redesigned in an acceptable way for the times.
Yeah.
So after Jim Crow, now we have the mass incarceration of Black people. All of these things are working towards the disenfranchisement of Black people. So like you're demobilizing us as a people, right? Okay. So after that, now we have like police brutality.
Yeah.
So all of these things, it's like you think that we're making progress, but ultimately all of these things are still the end goal is the same, which is the marginalization of Black people, right? So when it comes to like what you're saying about them dying, like whether it's through the vampires
or through them actually getting killed by the KKK.
Yeah. It's like, for me, it's like what I'm saying is like the structural functionalism is like the system is functioning the way it's supposed to. The system is not broken. It's functioning the way it's supposed to. So it's like when it comes to dying by the vampires and how he's saying like, oh, you guys are going to be free. And you see how you said you thought, oh, but maybe they should just do that because they're going to, but it's like either one.
Are they going to be free?
They're both reaching the same end goal.
Yeah.
In different ways. Because if you see how we were saying that Black people, we've turned our pain into like art and talent, and a lot of like, think about all the successful Black people that we know. It's through their talent that they've been able to get wealth, and now to be business people or whatever, right?
No
so
facts,
if you take that from us, what do we have? And then if you take our life from us, what do we have? Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's sad because it's like, it's either we play the game, which is also sometimes diminishing to us. Because what Black people have is our spirit. So if you're diminishing our spirit, you might as well just kill us.
Yeah.
And if you kill us, then we dead.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah. It's a lose-lose situation.
You know what I'm saying though?
Yeah. No,
okay. Sometimes I feel like I'm just talking, but like,
I get it.
Yeah. So it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know. And honestly, sometimes I'm like, are we doing a disservice to ourselves when we talk about these things and we say, oh, it's because of, and even colonialism is in that thing I was talking about too. Like people act like colonialism is a thing of the past. Like we still have the aftermath of colonialism today. Like all of that. And even this whole discourse of like, oh, like the people that were enslaved and went to like America and like the Caribbean or whatever, like, oh, the people on the continent sold us. Like, do you think that it was peaches and roses back on the continent? Like they're going through colonialism.
True. Yeah.
Look at the continent.
Yeah.
So a place that is so rich with resources. Why is there so much poverty?
Yeah. No
Why
facts.
are they? How can you come somewhere and take their people and their, like, come on?
Yeah.
Just pure evilness.
Yeah.
So.
That's so sad, honestly.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. What can we do?
What can we do, man? I don't know.
What can I do? So it's sad. And sometimes I'm like, are we doing ourselves a disservice? Like when we talk about these things and we say, oh, it's because of this and that, it's because of colonialism, it's because of this. Like, should we just move forward? I don't know.
I feel like talking, what harm does talking about it do?
Because, okay, I'm not saying I agree with this, but I've talked to people where they're like, they feel that Black people are just trying to like, oh, I don't have this opportunity because I'm Black, and like they just kind of stay in that space rather than
Okay.
still trying to,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Or like, remember a few episodes ago, I think it was like the first episode we had on video, when I was saying I was having a conversation with somebody and they were saying that land acknowledgements and the African ancestral acknowledgement is kind of like keeping us in a box.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like some people have that belief.
I don't know.
Wait, I have a question too. You see how in the beginning, I don't know if it was the beginning, I think it was close to the beginning when Remick or whatever went to those people's house.
Yes.
And then the indigenous people came and they were like,
yeah.
they were like,
He's not
you have
who
a
he thinks
demon
he- yeah.
in your house.
Yeah.
And then they were like trying to act like he wasn't there. And then they were like, all right, cool. We're out. We're out of here. We tried to help you. So I feel like, first of all, definitely the reason why they weren't, because to be honest, okay, how do I say this? I think they definitely were like covering for Remick or whatever because he was white.
Oh, for sure.
And they were white and they were like, these people are like not like us.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I think it just is kind of representative of the fact that these people were here first and they try to tell us things and like we don't listen and
you see what happens.
Yeah. You see what happens. But I feel like indigenous people are very much like, okay, y'all do it. If you're not gonna listen, then do what you're gonna do. So
it would have been interesting if they came to like the Black people and said,
I think the Black people would have listened to them.
Listened, yeah,
100%.
But I feel like, you know, when Remick first came to that house with those two white people, like it wasn't until he saw like the KKK thing inside the house where he was like going off of that and then started mentioning like the Native Americans. And then he started like going off of that because that's how he knew he could get buy-in from them.
Also, do you see how like when we're, you know how you were saying that they would have died anyways in the morning from when the KKK came?
Yeah.
Isn't it nasty work how they still took their money?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like and this is what I'm saying. Like your money is not gonna help you. You're so still Black.
Crazy. Yeah,
facts. Because the money that they paid is the same money that anybody would have paid. But because they're Black, they're gonna.
They thought that they would be respected because
they had money. But it's like, no, you're Black. They're gonna kill you anyways. It's either they're gonna kill your spirit or they're gonna kill you physically.
That's so crazy,
girl.
Yeah.
Anyways, prayers up.
Yeah, prayers up. That movie was amazing though. 10 out of 10. Like,
it was.
For real, I need to go watch it again.
I don't know if I'm gonna watch it again. It's scary.
It's scary, but like I know the scary parts now, so I'm prepared.
Okay, maybe we can do that together, but I'm still gonna close my eyes.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how the
Did you stay until the end? For the
So do you know there was 2 post credits?
There was 2, yeah.
I only stayed for the first one.
There was 2.
I didn't know that there was another one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I seen it on like TikTok. The other one was like him playing the guitar. But I seen the one with when Stack and the girl came.
And Mary came back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Stack was like, oh, like that he's not really alive or something. But I don't remember what he said, but he's like that day before I was turned into a vampire, that was like one of the best days of my life. And that was the one day I was like truly alive. No, well, Sammy did say that, but then Stack was like, yeah, that was like the day where I truly felt alive. The last day I was alive or something like that. Even though right now he's alive eternally, you know?
And I feel like that's what it is to be in a Black space, like a safe Black space. And I feel like that's why that should be the goal for us rather than trying to get what is the word? Entry, for lack of a better word, into white spaces. But at the same time, we're living in the real world. Like,
Yeah.
I can't just say I only want to be in black spaces. Like, I have to.
I know. It's true.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you can always create it.
Yeah, but then that's what I'm saying. Are those spaces valued by society at large in the same way
Oh, yeah.
that other spaces are valued? Like, for example, if I say I went to like University of Toronto versus like York University, like one is known for like having like a lot of black people, or whatever, and one is like more respected. Or even when it comes, if we're talking about the States,
like HBCU,
like Harvard versus like a HBCU, like
yeah, that's fair.
one is going to be more respected than another, right?
That's
so. What do you wish for? Whenever this drops,
June.
Yeah.
June. It's summertime now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe by the time this drops, I don't know. But yeah, we're transitioning into summertime. I hope everyone has a safe summer. I hope that you guys are responsible. Don't drink and drive.
Please don't drink and drive.
What else? Go outside, touch grass, have fun with your friends. Enjoy your life. Live your life. Yeah.
That's all.
But I feel like June's something too.
No. Like a holiday?
Yeah. No?
No, July is Canada Day, but we don't support that.
Okay, yeah. Happy June.
Juneteenth, is that what you wanted to say?
Oh my gosh, Juneteenth. Yeah, I've always wanted to be in the States when Juneteenth happened.
Do you have family in the States?
In New Jersey, but I feel like it's more like of a southern thing.
I want to like I don't want to just go, like I want to go to like somebody's like cookout or something.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. What do I wish? Read books.
Yeah, read books.
I feel like I've been trying to get back into reading for fun lately, because I think when you're in school, it's just like kind of takes away the joy of reading, because like you have to read.
Yeah.
But read some fun books.
Yeah.
It expands your vocabulary and your mind. You know what I mean? It's not everyday TikTok. Because our attention spans are just
terrible.
Shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And also like love yourself. You're the only self that you have.
Yeah.
So love yourself. I feel like everybody should. There's always room for improvement, but I feel like everyone should, like, you should be the prettiest girl to yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because if you don't think you're pretty, nobody's gonna think you're pretty. So if you don't think you're that bitch. If you don't think you're intelligent, nobody's gonna think that. So big up yourself.
Yes. Do the work.
Yes. All right. This has been your girl Himati.
And Deja.
And this is
Dark and Lovely Pod. Bye, guys.
Later.